following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport and Simulations live on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside, off of the back straightaway. 26 and Hallmark trying to go 3 wide. No one's going to let them.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's going to dive in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it?
Walker Thomas. Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2 by 2. The 65 gets the win.
Welcome race fans back to PTR TV, and tonight's coverage of the Hardline Racing League, the Midwest PowerSource Cup Series, is live at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Essentia 200 here tonight. It'll be 133 laps of action tonight in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup machines. Calling the coverage tonight is myself, Corey Silva, and I got Evan Black with me in the booth. Evan, again, another race for the Hardline Racing League. We saw a new winner last week in Tyler Hensley getting into victory lane, but here we are at Charlotte. What can we expect tonight?
It's completely different than Iowa. It's going to be really interesting to see how these drivers handle this racetrack. In last week's winner, Tyler Hensley, he's not here. I do not see him, so he's not going to be able to go back-to-back. So we'll see how this race goes out as the qualifying is underway now. Shane Terrian currently on the provisional pole.
Yes, he is, only by 3/100ths over Matthew Bell, who just popped there in the second spot. 2 minutes left in qualifying for these drivers, but 15 guys will take to the grid here tonight for the action at Charlotte. See who's on track right now. Ryan Hart's in second spot, just beats Matthew Bell by that 1/1000th of a second. Got Thomas Bresci on track, and he's fighting with Casey Shue there. That is not going to work for either of those drivers, so they don't want to interfere with each other's laps.
Only 8 drivers have turned a lap so far. Looks like there's a few more that are trying to get out there and turn laps now.
Yeah, let's see who else we have here. We have Simon Thorns in the 57 on the back straightaway, and there's some carnage there, and he will just sneak by as Casey Shue gets out of the way. Again, 9 drivers have completed a lap. It'll be 10 when Thorns completes his lap this time around.
He has already completed a lap. He is 9th.
Oh, what do you know? I didn't even see that there. But Nick Massey, we know he's a fast driver. He won, I believe it was a couple weeks ago. Can't quite pinpoint off the top of my head, but I know we did catch that 48 in victory lane, always up front in these races. So let's see what Massey can do, as he definitely has not run a lap quite yet. Nick Massey through corner number 3, and Forrest Thorns gets loose off of the corner, but at the stripe, Nick Massey.
P2.
P2. Only 2 100ths off of Shane Tarian, so only maybe one more run. If these guys really force the issue, they may be able to get one more lap out there. Shane Tarian still our points leader in the series by 5 points over Thomas Bressi. Bressi not very good in qualifying, in the 8th spot, so that's going to give the upper hand to Tarian right from the get-go.
Seems like a lot of times Bressi just does not qualify very well, but he always ends up getting up there by the end of the race.
Yeah, it is just a completely different skill set. Some guys just, I kind of consider myself to be in that same category where you may be able to get those hot laps in, you may be able to, or you may be able to save the tires, and you may have the finesse. It's not necessarily easy to combine both skills together. I mean, at least I can't do it anyways. I think, Evan, you do it a lot better than I do. So let's see here, Nick Massey on the track again. I think this lap is going to count for him if he can get it. Remember, he was only 2 100ths of a second off of the pole. Will this lap here be just that little bit better as he comes off of the corner and hits the start-finish line? Survey says no improvement, so Nick Massey remains in second, and he is the last driver on the track right now. So without further ado, let's bring to you the PTR TV starting lineup here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Hardline Racing League. On the pole here tonight with a lap time of 28.825 seconds is Shane Tarian, so our congratulations offered to him. Nick Massey outside of the front row. In third, we have Ryan Hartz. In fourth, we have Matthew Bell. In fifth, we find Bronson Stafford, Joshua Adams rolling off P6, and then Bryla Pratt and Thomas Bressi, the top 8.
And rolling off in 9th, we have Robert Kinney, Alex Weaver in 10th, Simon Thorns in 11th, Chuck Sweeting in 12th, Casey Shue in 13th, Rusty Keeple in 14th, and Cody Tabor in 15th, rounding out the field.
Yep, so that is the grid here tonight from Charlotte Motor Speedway. The weather conditions these guys will be enduring tonight: 77 degrees in the air, 77 degrees on the track, about a 7-mile-an-hour wind coming out of the west, so nothing that is overly concerning, but that is still more wind than these guys are probably used to, in all honesty. Again, it'll be 133 laps of action here tonight, so given the 75% fuel load, I'm going to go on a stab and say these guys could probably go about 35 to 40 laps, Evan. You think that's about right?
Yeah, probably somewhere around there, and then the stage is at lap 40, so it could be close on fuel.
Yep, so with the tire wear in these machines, Evan, do you think we are going to run the fuel loads out, or do you kind of more expect that they're going to maybe try to split these stints up?
Well, they're going to try and split the stints up as much as they can, but I don't know how much they're going to be able to with this race distance.
Yeah, it is a 133 lap race. The stage on lap 40, so that'll be over 90 laps to run the race out, which could in itself be 2 to 3 stops, so that'll be interesting to see how that does play out. But we are rolling off the grid here on the front straightaway, so one lap around the Charlotte Motor Speedway and we will have a green flag.
Shane Tarian going for his 5th win of the season. He's already got 4, and they're only 9 races into the season, so he's doing a really nice job.
Yeah, but in all honesty, he hasn't really been as dominant these past couple weeks at the very least as he was earlier in the season. Maybe a bad set of tracks for him, but we'll see what happens here. Back to a more traditional track, 1.5 miles, kind of what the bread and butter of the schedule. So Let's see if he can get back to his winning ways, but you know, there's 14 other drivers that are going to try to change that here tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to PTR TV for the coverage tonight of the Essentia 200 for the Hardline Racing Midwest Power Source Cup Series. 38 of Shane Tarian is the control car. He will start to the inside. Nick Massey, second place on the outside. Ryan Hartz and Matthew Bell in row number 2. Pace car will take the hard left turn in pit road. They can go as soon as they want to, and it does look like on the loud pedal is the 38. We are racing here at Charlotte.
There goes Tarian clear at the 48 of Massey, but there is a battle for seconds. Ryan Hart's to the inside of Massey now. See, it looks like you want to be on the outside down through 1 and 2 to start, as the 48 is powered by that 3. So we will see now the 3 of Hearts getting a pretty good run down the back straightaway down into turn number 3, and it looks like the 40 is going to hang on to that position.
Yes, he will. Nick Massey hanging on for the time being. Ryan Hart's in sole possession of third. Matthew Bell gets into 4th. Now they're side by side. Bronson Stafford and Joshua Adams in the 6th position. That outside groove is where you want to be in turns 1 and 2. It's a lot easier to get that arc on the outside and pinch the guy down on the inside groove.
But that bottom lane worked for that 61 of Stafford through 1 and 2 there. He was able to get a little bit closer to Adams. We'll see here through 3 and 4 what's going to work here. Looks like the top lane, maybe. We'll see here out of 4, pretty even from both lanes.
Yeah, these new tires will kind of give a little bit of a band-aid, kind of show everybody that they can do what they want, but as these tires run and this run progresses, I really do expect that top of the racetrack to be the preferred groove, at least in corner number 1 and 2, but Stafford is giving it his all running that bottom groove right now.
Adams, I think, got a little tight there out of 2. That allowed Stafford to get by now. Briar Pratt trying to get by him on the bottom side, and Thomas Bresci trying to get by on the top.
Oh, a little bit of contact there. Kind of washed Bresci up the track a little bit. 19 machine Briar LaPrade gets by. There goes Chuck Sweeting back as Bresci loses his momentum, loses a ton of time. I don't think he got in the wall, but he's going to have to get himself wound back up and ready to make another charge.
So now LaPrade trying to get by that 88 of Adams for the 6th position.
See a pass going on the end of the field right now, but up front, 4 cars under a blanket for the lead. Nick Massey not backing off the back bumper. Shane Tarian, Ryan Hart's in 3rd, Matthew Bell in 4th. They have broken away by a couple car lengths over Bronson Stafford. Look at Massey. He is all over that back bumper.
Yeah, he got a huge run out of 4 and down the front stretch, so he got right to the back bumper, and here through 1 and 2, he's going to be right back once again to his bumper. He got in the wall with there out of 2.
Yes, he did. Just the slightest bit of damage, nothing to worry about, but he's going to have to take note not to do that. As a little bit of wiggle there from the 38 of Taryn goes all the way up to the top of the track. That's going to give the 48 the groove down low. I don't know if he's going to be able to clear. It looks like Taryn may be able to hang on to the right rear. He will not be able to. 48 to the front.
So now Nick Massey, or Ryan Hart's trying to get by that 38 of Tarian, as Massey is the new leader, but Tarian is trying to get it back on that high side.
Hart's kind of almost using the draft there if he can to push that 48 by on the inside, try to follow him through there on the inside of the racetrack. 48 gets a little bit of apron there, causes him to check up just a little bit, lose his momentum. That's going to let the 3 get right to their back bumper. Now here comes the 3 to the top of the track.
Tarian had the lead at the stripe, and this is bringing the 95 of Bell right up to this battle once again. And out of 2, Tarian's going to get that lead back.
Now, what is this doing for the tires, Evan? Are they driving too hard, or is this going to come back to bite them later in the run, do you think?
I think it's going to come back to bite them, but it's going to be hard to know. I'll tell you the answer here in about 20 laps.
All right, we will stay tuned for that. And Bronson Stafford in that 61 machine, he is just stalking behind. Not really any place to go. Waiting to see what the dominant line's going to be, but the 3 not giving up with that shot to the inside as he is by Massey now. Tarian, the points leader, into the turn 2 wall. Loses the momentum. Here comes Hartz to the lead. Here comes Massey and the 95 of Bell to follow.
So let's see, can Bell clear for that 3rd position? Tarian pinching him down a little bit, and it looks like Tarian will clear for 4th, and now trying to get back there for 2nd now. On board with the number 38 of Tarian. You can see a little bit of a wrinkle to the right fender, a similar fashion to what I believe it was, who was that in the wall? Massey. So these guys just slight contact, but continuing on, they just have to take note not to do that again. Here comes 3 different lines. You can see Massey kind of running up top a little bit, and then
The 38 in the middle, 61 right on the white line.
See, Ryan Hart's starting to pull away from these guys now up to a little over a quarter of a second lead. And Bronson Stafford is starting to kind of get up to this battle as a little contact maybe there between Bell and Tarian is really close there out of 2.
Now these guys are drawing custom drivers from the back right into it. Bronson Stafford being one, Brian LaPrade another one, Joshua Adams lurking back there, trying to take a look to the inside of LaPrade there off of 4. Nothing doing, but he's going to stock that back bumper into corner number 1.
There, Bell gets clear for the 3rd position. It's Brian LaPrade now into 6th.
Now LaPrade into 6th, but that may turn into 7th as Joshua Adams, he had a look and he continues to have a look to the inside of the speedway through 3 and 4. He has a lot tighter of a line through that corner, but that did not allow him to keep his momentum up. He lost that little bit of momentum through 4 and onto the quad oval rather. See him trying to go to the top of the track this time by.
I wonder if Tarian burned his tires out because he's back to 4th and is now about a second off of the lead, but did Bell just get the wall there? He lost a lot of momentum out of 2.
Yeah, these drivers seem to be dealing with very tight race cars, so that is going to most certainly show effect on corner exit when you just can't get that thing to turn when you're trying to get off the banking, and maybe some slight wall contact, but good battle on the track. The 19 of LaPrade and the 61 of Bronson Stafford, as well as Matthew Bell and Nick Massey for 2nd.
LaPrade is on a mission here up through the field. He got by Adams, now trying to get by Stafford through 3 and 4. We'll see who can clear here. And it looks like LaPrade is going to get it.
Yep, Brian LaPrade moving up to the 5th position, but here comes Stafford back to the inside. Stafford with the charge in the inside in corner 1 and 2, right on that white line. Now the 19 should get the run on corner exit, but the door is going to be shut. He's going to push it wide back open. Here he goes to the top of the track trying to get that run. 88 of Josh Adams talking, trying to figure out where to go.
See here through 3 and 4 now. Looks like the 19, he should be able to get the run out of 4. Yes, he will, and LaPrade now back in 5th.
Yep, these guys battling as if it's the end of the race. They are really hard and aggressive for these positions. Here comes Joshua Adams trying to sneak to the outside of the 61. He dives it up top of the racetrack, pulls door to door off corner number 2. Tight racing, some sparks kicking up. I think that was from Tarian.
Tarian, it just seems like he's lost the handling and the speed on that machine. Now about a second and a half off of the lead, and Brian LaPrade is getting pretty close to him.
Yeah, as we know, Evan, it's very easy to ruin your car for the whole run just based on how you run those opening laps. If you run them too aggressively, those tires never really recover from how hard you drive them.
See here, LaPrade with a pretty good run down the backstretch. Now within a half car length of him through 3 and 4. See here out of 4, if LaPrade can get the run he needs to try and get by. I'm not going to be able to this time. Let's see if he can here through 1 and 2.
Up here they come through corners number 1 and 2. You can see the 61 trying to Larson it up top of the racetrack. That's going to allow Bresci to get underneath him and into the wall. Contact down the back straightaway. 2 cars to the inside wall.
Stafford and Bresci around. Both drivers got into the inside wall. No caution yet.
And there it is, as Bresci backed up on the speedway. Not sure if it was a manual caution by admins or not, but regardless of such, under caution for the first time here tonight at Charlotte. Let's go on replay, and I think we kind of caught it live, but we'll get further clarification. 61 into the wall, shot down the track, just having no control over his car, and just took Bresci along for the ride hard into the inside barrier. And then as they were backing up onto the track, getting straightened out, that was the cue to bring the caution out. So we will assemble behind the Ford Mustang pace car, and Hartz has already done such in 3 and 4. Here we go, and pits will be open, and I expect pit road to be a busy place.
Corey, there was another incident there. After the wreck, I'm assuming before the caution came out, Tarian got up into the wall in 3 and 4, and he went around, and Adams got some damage from it too.
Oh, hot dog, we have to find this now too as we'll scroll back a little bit further. Here we go. See, we're coming off of corner number 2. You can see the wreck happening behind him, but Brian LaPrade to the inside of Terrian in 3 and 4. Terrian just did not turn straight into the turn 3 wall. And then Adams a little bit of assistance in setting him around there, but good job by Robert Kenny to miss him well as well at the 10, but he must have just got really overshot the entry to 3, just got really tight, because that thing just did not appear to turn whatsoever.
Yeah, and then you got a little bit loose and started to come down in front of Adams, and at 88 just had nowhere to go there.
So Cody Tabor stays on the racetrack, and that number 2 Essentia SS. I wanted to say Camaro, but that's coming in a couple months.
Hashtag soon.
Hashtag soon, but once Tabor presumably does pit, Ryan Hartz did win the race off pit road. Brian LaPrade in second off pit road, and then Massey and Adams. See what the status is of the 61 and the 24, how much damage they have to repair, and if they can get it repaired in a timely enough fashion. Bresci already pulls out of his stall. Here comes Stafford. It does look like Stafford got the worst end of the stick there. I think Bresci should be able to continue with maybe not winning pace, but I think he should still be able to chug along decently with that. A lot of left front damage. You can see him having to remember to stay below the white line and on the apron there as that new update in iRacing giving the blend line. You have to stay below the line, and you cannot merge back onto the track after the pits until you get to that blue line and that blue cone, which we see right there on the inside of the back straightaway. Which after for myself, 10 years of running the service and merging my own rules, I'll say I've had quite some trouble remembering to do that, but it is very good that it is implemented.
Yes, you have definitely had some issues as the field's coming through 3 and 4 on 1 to green. Brian Hartz will be the leader, and Brian LaPrade in second, Nick Massey in third, and Joshua Adams in fourth.
Yep, so this will be the restart, the first restart of the race, as we have just had and completed our first caution flag. But pace car pulls into pit road again, waiting for Ryan Hartz to get the race underway. He does exactly that on the loud pedal, back racing, gets to about a 3-car length lead. The battle is for second.
Yeah, Nick Massey on the inside of Brian LaPrade, now down through 1 and 2. Looks like Massey's maybe going to clear. No, still side by side, almost contact there, but LaPrade's going to clear as 3 wide for third.
3 wide down the back straightaway here. Who is going to give? It's going to be Massey who gives. 88 of Adams sails it around the top of the track. 95 of Bell seems to be the slow one there to the inside. As we come off of corner number 4, looks like they will settle out, but they are still side by side behind him. That's Kenny in the 10 and the 11 of Alex Weaver.
Yeah, side by side for 7th, and Weaver's going to take the spot now. Casey Shue trying to get by that 10 of Kenny, and Shane Terrian right behind them trying to get by.
10 kind of watches up the track, some contact there into the fence as Casey Shue, and he will lock it down. Will he save it? He will not, and that is a caution flag. So let's go back on replay here. We kind of, again, caught that one live, but we can see if we can get a better view of it maybe from the chopper cam. 10 of Kenny didn't quite get to the bottom there, but they were still doing just fine, and maybe Shue came down a couple inches, maybe Kenny washed up just a couple inches, kind of a racing deal, and Ford never quite able to save it.
So now, they ran about 5 laps. Is the field going to come down pit road?
Normally, I wouldn't. But just given how many people we have in the race, I'm going to say that you do. Because there's not that much to lose, relatively. But I've been wrong. And I usually am, as I always say.
So the field coming through 3 and 4 now. We'll see if they come down pit road. Pit road should be open this time.
Yeah, Ryan Hartz, he is 8th in the standings this time by, not quite going for the full-time schedule, but still I believe he will make the playoffs. Already has a win, trying to see if he can make it 2 tonight, and looks like the 95 of Bell will stay on the racetrack, and I don't see anybody behind him. I see one car behind him,
Looks
and
like Bell and Tabor staying out.
that is it. So 2 cars staying on the track, the remainder of the field in pit road. There will be a couple drivers, I'm sure, fixing damage from those earlier incidents, the 61 and the 24 especially, but saw a couple of the drivers hit the wall off of 2, so they may want to bend the fenders out and try to get those machines back to full power and back to full
fullness.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But we're going to step away for a brief moment here, and we'll go to a side-by-side and be back with you guys for the restart. So stay with us. And we're back here at Charlotte, getting ready for the restart. We are in corner number 3 and 4, finishing, I believe it's the second caution flag of the race. Matthew Bell is going to be your leader, Evan. Get us underway for the restart.
Coming through 3 and 4 now. Matthew Bell staying out on those older tires. Ryan Hart's on fresh tires. Pace car now in pit road. We'll see when will Bell decide to go. And there goes Bell. Getting a little bit of wheel spin there. Not going to get out to a huge jump over Hart's, but still going to clear him.
Yeah, he didn't get the jump that other leaders have got thus far, but he does hold the lead into turn number 1 regardless. Here comes Ryan Hartz, clearing the 19 of LaPrade, who is stuck to the inside of the track. Joshua Adams falls in behind him, and now it's just a matter of how long before Hartz takes the lead, and I'll tell you, that wasn't very long. Here he comes to the inside and already clears him in 3.
And that's only 6 lap difference on those tires, and a little bit of contact there between Adams and LaPrade. LaPrade got a little bit checked out there because of Bell.
Number 1 dynamic we didn't talk about is with the stage being on lap 40, this is only going to be a 13-lap run to the end, so these guys will be going full out now. Absolutely no reason to hold anything back.
See Alex Weaver trying to get by Chuck Sweeting as we have a battle for second. Pratt and Bell side by side. Bell on those older tires. And Pratt is not quite going to clear him. It's close. But Bell's just barely hanging on to his right rear as we go down into 1 and 2.
Bell used that little bit to hang on the outside, but he just doesn't have the grip. Went up the track way too high, nearly got in the fence, backed off, and there he goes, losing 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 spots to even Chuck Sweeting. But side by side is Massey and Adams for 3rd.
Adams up on that outside lane, trying to get around this 48 of Massey. Down the front stretch, Adams is going to clear, so 88 now up to the position number 3.
And here we come into corner number 1 and 2. Bell on his excursion to the back of the field. He's going to lose a spot to Alex Weaver. Right behind him is Chuck Sweeting, and then we have is that Rusty Capel back there. We'll see how many spots the 95 does lose. Only 10 laps to go in stage 1.
And Bell was able to hold on to 6 there. He's able to hold off Alex Weaver. So we'll see, or actually hold on for 5th now. We'll see if Weaver will manage to be able to get by him or not.
Yeah, he's going to have 9 more laps in the way he's going. I'd have to imagine he's going to get by, and we'll find out. He took a little bit of a look to the inside down the back straightaway, but didn't have the momentum to go along with it. He just took with the peak maybe to get in the head of the 95. Here he comes. He's going to try to look to the outside of the racetrack.
Well, no, Weaver taking a look to the outside of that 95 of Bell. Now taking a look to the inside down into turn 1. Bell up there in the 3rd lane. Now up there in the 4th lane through 1 and 2 out of turn 2. Chuck Sweeting's trying to get by Alex Weaver now, but Weaver's going to be able to pull up in front of him. No, he's not.
Yeah, Sweeting is just trying to fill the gap in. He's trying to get by on the outside, and I believe he will do so. The longer these guys run, the tighter the inside gets, the more that outside is the advantageous place to be. And there goes Sweeting up to P6, and just waiting to see if these guys can get by the 95. Nothing really happening up front. Hartz is up by about 1/4 of a second, nearly into the fence there if he wasn't exactly. But LaPrade hanging on 1/4 of a second, 3/10 of a second back now.
Gonna have about 7 laps to go, I believe, here. So we'll see if LaPrade can close in on Hartz any. Last time by, Hartz was almost a full 10th quicker than LaPrade.
Yeah, on the battle tracker here, you can see a 53 to a 15 to a 61 rather, as you said, but nearly 1/10 of a second. But then look at the gap further on back to 3rd. These guys nearly 2-3 faster than Massey and Adams at the moment, but they are battling nonetheless.
Yeah, there's Massey taking a look to the inside of Adams for the 3rd position. And Adams is just going to let him go.
Yeah, at this point, if you don't think you have a chance to get back by, then there's really no point to put the whole car in the hole. So just wait it out. The stage is coming to an end rather shortly. See them just having different approaches to the speedway. Massey kind of has that higher entry and trying to use that to help him off the corner exit. But I'll tell you, I think the 88 got off of the corner way better than the 48. We'll see if he can keep doing that.
Matthew Bell is still hanging on to that 5th position. Sweeting has not been able to get by him yet, but he got a pretty good run through 1 and 2, did Sweeting. So we'll see if he can keep that up here in 3 and 4.
Yeah, so for Bell, it's almost a moot point. He kind of ended up in the same position that he most likely would have been, but that's not to say he's able to hang on with Sweeting and Weaver for what'll be 4 more laps in the stage.
See, Sweeting taking a look to the outside, and we have Casey Shue around back in the back. That's going to be the end of the stage.
Yep, that number 4 brings out his 2nd caution flag of the race. Let's see what the actual cause of it was. He's racing with Simon Thorns throughout the quad oval. And Thorns got into his left rear.
Yeah, Simon, he looks like he just didn't turn down soon enough and just got into the 4. I don't think Simon expected to have that much of a run to the inside and just didn't turn down soon enough.
Yeah, I think
stay off his left rear.
Yeah, luckily for the 4, I don't think he really made any contact of it or nothing of any significance. So I mean, he already has that thing beaten up from before, but I don't think anything was really added to it that time. So
looks like he has a little bit of rear end damage, but it's not too bad.
As you call out, Evan, this will count as the stage. Stage was going to be on lap 40, but where this caution will encompass lap 40, it will just serve a dual purpose. So stage winner goes to Ryan Hartz, and everybody in the top 10 gets their playoff points to go with it. And look at that, staying out on 13-lap-old tires.
I don't think they've decided whether or not this will be the stage yet. Because based on the previous cautions, this would be 2 to green right now. So to get 1 to green, that still wouldn't work.
Because we'd be going green on taking lap 41, so. Well, Evan, you have the ability. You can run down to the trailer real quick. If it is running down, talking to the admin, seeing what they want to do. We're just going on the assumption that this is the end of the stage, and When Evan gets back, we will have a certain answer for you.
That is the stage.
Well, there you go. See, we guessed pretty well. And Evan, I don't see a lot of cars behind the pace car right now.
Yeah, 4 drivers staying out. Ryan Hartz, Brian LaPrade, Shane Terrian, and Cody Tabor.
So here comes the rest of the field who did pit. So I'm assuming they're going to call the stage points at lap 40. Not sure how they want to do that, but if that is the case, that would explain why they want to stay out. So
what they were saying was that they were going to call it at the when the caution came out.
All right, so that would explain why those guys stayed out. They got their points, and Ryan Hart's getting the stage win. Now they will have to suffice those positions on 1 to go, and that's going to be a lot of giddy up they're going to need to get back to the start, to get back to these guys for the green flag. They are just now entering their stalls.
So now Joshua Adams is going to be on the front row for this restart, as well as Chuck Sweeting, Nick Massey in 3rd, and Matthew Bell in 4th.
You can see they're just now leaving pit road now. Terry, not a good stop there, but just now exiting the pits is Ryan Hartz. They're going to have to giddy up and get closer to those guys and get assembled for this start. In the middle of the back straightaway, these drivers are. They'll have no problem getting there, just a little bit late, so they'll have to get organized rather quickly. And Joshua Adams will be getting the race underway. Chuck Sweeting in the 2nd position, and then we have, who is that? Nick Massey and Matthew Bell in row number 2. This is the start of stage 2 for the Hardline Racing Midwest Power Source Cup Series, the Ascension 200 here tonight. Pace car will pull in. There it goes, waiting on Adams to get on the gas, and there he goes. Stage 2 is underway.
Adams got a good jump there over Chuck Sweeting. The battle is for 2nd with Nick Massey and Chuck Sweeting. Massey on the inside. And we'll see here that the outside has kind of been where you want to be on the restarts through 1 and 2, but Massey's making that bottom work. Not going to quite clear Sweeting, but it's close.
Yeah, on these new tires, you can really be Superman and just kind of go wherever you want. So you can make that bottom work if that's what you want to do on these new tires, and that is what Massey's trying to do. But Sweeting not going down with a fight, without a fight on that outside groove.
Joshua Adams starting to pull away a little bit from these guys as they go down into 1 and 2. Matthew Bell trying to get by this 95 and 48, or 26 and 48.
Yep, there he is. That Matthew Bell, remember he stayed out, and now he's finally back on even playing field tires-wise with these guys, running about a lane up through 3 and 4. Got a run from the high side on Sweeting, takes it to the low side through the quad oval, entering corner number 1. Who will prevail? Looks like the 95 will sail it down in there. He will clear and pass Chuck Sweeting for the 3rd spot.
So now Bell going to try to get by that 40 of Massey and then the 88 of Adams. See if he can do that.
Sweeting not backing down, dove it off into corner number 3 to the outside, trying to get that cut back to the bottom, but 95 got equally as good of a cut, so he will hang on to that 3rd position, and we'll see what happens with 1st and 2nd. Who will prevail? Will it be Adams hanging on? Will Massey get himself up there? Will the 95 get up there? That's what we got to figure out, and we also have to figure out how long before that number 3 machine gets up and battles with these guys.
Hey, he's up to 7th already. We'll see what kind of lap time he turns this time. Last time he was a little bit slower than the leader, but I'm not sure if he may have had to pass someone. We'll see here. Leader ran a 29.373 and he ran a 29.304.
So well, 3/4 of a tenth, so that is a pretty decent sized margin. You can see almost a tenth faster Adams over Massey last time by, so discrepancy amongst the leaders right now, but battle for 3rd also shaping up at the moment. That is Bell and Sweeting. Bell has that 26 all over his back bumper, filling his mirror.
Then Alex Weaver right behind them. Weaver trying to get by Sweeting for that 4th position.
It's a very hard task to pass here once the tires do wear. It's just you don't have, depending on the setup, you don't have enough grip to keep it right down on the bottom, but that top works so well that you can keep that momentum built up, and it really makes it hard to figure stuff out as the tires wear out.
Massey is starting to reel in our leader, Joshua Adams. Last time by, Massey was about half a tenth quicker. As Matthew Bell up into the wall a little bit, that's going to allow Sweeting to get by and maybe Weaver.
Weaver to the inside of the 95, washes up the track through the center. Look at the 95 powering in that second groove. He holds off the 11 and goes to the outside of the 26, trying to go 2 for 1 here and recover that 95's doing. Let's see what happens in 1 and 2. Sweeting to the bottom of the track. 95 will get on the throttle of being able to with that upper groove, and he will prevail and stay in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Bell got into the wall, fell back to 5th and right back to 3rd. All in 1 lap.
Yep, coming through corner 3 and 4 here, taking another lap. The battle up front for the lead is going to be hot right now. The 88 and the 48, with it separated by inches here on the front straightaway. I thought the 48 was going to have a little bit better run to make a move in corner number 1. Did not have that. He's going to do his best to stay right in those 88's tire tracks.
Yes, he got a little bit tight out of 2. It looked like he lost some time there. Ryan Hart's now getting by Chuck Sweeting for 5th, as Alex Weaver's already got by him, and now Brian LaPrade trying to get by that 26.
Yep, LaPrade to the outside right now, trying to get by Chuck Sweeting, who has lost a ton of spots since the beginning of the race. Well, since the beginning of the second stage, rather, back to 7th now. He will fall in the clutches of Rusty Capel in about 4/10 of a second if he does fall back that far.
Adams now starting to pull away a little bit again from Massey. See if Massey can reel him back in.
Yeah, Massey took a stab at it, dropped back, and hasn't dropped back too far. He's still well within striking range, enough to make that number 88 have to think about his moves and not make a mistake. He can't afford to do that. We go through 3 and 4. Gap stays about 3/10 of a second. Again, right behind this is Alex Weaver in, Matthew Bell in 3rd, Alex Weaver in 4th. Ryan Hartz, remember, he was leading the race. He's in 5th. Hasn't really made too much progress in that 3 machine.
See, Hart's now trying to get by Alex Weaver, but did not get a very good run through 1 and 2 and lost some time there.
Yeah, the 19 didn't really get to pounce on it. The 3 didn't really hit his mark, so it kind of works out for him to be able to get away with that mistake, running the second groove there through 3 and 4, and no clear-cut advantage to the 11 or the 19, so he's going to have to figure out something if he wants to keep making these passes on the guys up front.
Casey Shute and Thomas Baresi side by side back in the 11th and 12th position.
Both of these
Shute now getting by Baresi.
Both of these drivers have had some big hurdles to overcome tonight. Shute been involved in a couple cautions. Baresi involved in a pretty heavy caution on the inside of the back straightaway.
Alex Weaver and as well as Hartz and LaPrade have caught up to Matthew Bell. Weaver taking a look to the inside of Bell out of turn 2. And he's on his inside just barely, but Ryan Hartz is going to get to the outside of Weaver. And there goes Hartz through to P4 and now trying to get 3rd.
Yes, they are trying to battle for the 3rd spot here, coming off and completing lap number 54. 55 going on the board. Hartz trying to look to the outside in the quad oval. Gets the door shut on him by Bell. He'll have to regroup and reset, try to do it again. Only about 1 second behind the leader. These guys can still get to the leader once they settle themselves out, sort themselves out, but 3 will fall back in line and have to do it all over again.
See, Hartz went a little bit higher through 3 and 4, then cutting down a little bit lower than that 95. Hartz got a good run out of 4 down the front stretch now. See, where is Hartz going to try and make his move? Bell tried to shut the door entering 1 and 2, but was not able to. But Hartz once again running that really high lane through 1 and 2, and it's going to work for him.
Yes, he will. Here he comes to the inside. Hartz dives down on the back straightaway here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Clears with ease, entering corner number 3, but washes up the track. Here comes Matthew Bell, trying to look for a crossover move, but the run stalls out on him. He cannot do so, so he will fall back to that 4th spot. But Brian LaPrade stock of the back bumper, Alex Weaver stock of the bumper. There will still be more passes made in this group, I'm sure.
Massey and Adams still hold him at a 0.2 of a second gap for the lead. As now Brian LaPrade trying to get to the outside of Matthew Bell. He is on the outside of Bell now, entering turn 3 for the 4th position. Here out of 4, we'll see who can get the run. It's going to be LaPrade, but not going to be good enough to get back side by side.
Yeah, LaPrade in the 5th spot, and 4th not on the radar quite yet. We are about 19 laps through this run, so presumably about another 20-ish laps, and we should have a green flag set of stops if our estimations prove to be accurate. So it'll be interesting to call that out. Well, we know that if they pit, let's say maybe on lap 78, then they pit on lap 105 or so. That'd be a run to the end. Spinning
Weaver sideways.
He saves it, and for the time being, I'm not sure if this will cause a caution.
He just spun it back around.
Simon Thorns gets into the wall trying to avoid that, hits the wall, so 2 drivers having issues, but they don't spin out, and they keep it going forward, so we stay green. Up front, battle still going on for the lead. Nick Massey and Joshua Adams. Nose to tail, entering corner 1 and 2, all the way to the top of the track is Adams. That's going to open the entire inside for Nick Massey, but can't get the momentum built up to get alongside, so they'll drag race down the back straightaway.
See, entering 3 and 4 now. Massey once again around that higher lane. Cutting down right to that white line on exit. Got a better run than Adams, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to pull it side by side. We'll see here. He's not going to be close enough, still about a car length back.
Yeah, at this point, if you're Massey, I mean, it's going to be even harder to make that pass. We know these cars are getting tight, and the only groove that the 88's made available is passing them down low, and I just don't really see that being possible at this point, Evan.
And look who has joined the party. Ryan Hartz in that 3. Now under, or right about a half second back from the lead. And he was a lot faster than these leaders last time by.
Yeah, he was. I could see here on the lap graphic, see who is the better of the drivers in the top 10 right now. And Ryan Hart's the only driver in the 4s. He was over a 10th faster than both of his competition. Someone got loose there on the back straightaway. That was Matthew Bell. But he doesn't back off and keeps it pedal to the floor, and the battle with the Pratt still continues.
Bell and LaPrade have been battling for probably almost this entire run. You know, LaPrade, he's going to be starting to get a little bit frustrated and wanting to get by Bell.
Yeah, he's been trying to get by, and when you know that you can't get by and you're just giving everything you have, and whether it's a car limitation, a track limitation, it's just really frustrating just seeing the guys ahead of you pull away, just knowing that you're just stuck where you are.
And Hart's about another 1/10.5 quicker than the leader.
But he is there at this point, right to the bumper. Massey had a little bit of a look there, if anything. So how fast and what is he going to do to get by that 48 machine?
See here through 3 and 4. Hart's taking a look underneath, but not going to have enough room to get side by side with him.
And couldn't quite do it that time, so they stay single file. There is a battle side by side behind this, and who else would it be except that number 19 machine and number 95 who've been battling for this entire run. Chuck Sweeting again lurking right behind this, trying to figure out where to go. It's Sweeting, big wiggle off of corner number 2 down the back straightaway. He does save it.
Lost a lot of time, but he did save that race car. As they're still side by side, but LaPrade may get it here. Out of 4, LaPrade's going to clear. Bell going to go for the crossover through the front stretch. See down into turn 1 and 2 if Bell can clear him.
Yeah, Bell is going to be able to fall back in line behind the 19 machine off of corner number 2, so that battle will temporarily work itself out, waiting to see if the 26 is fast enough to maybe compete with these guys. He's in the 6th position.
But we're going to have a battle for the lead here. Nick Massey had a good run out of 4 down the front stretch, taking a look to the inside of that 88 of the Adams. See down here into turn 1 and 2 if Massey can clear him. Ryan Hart's right behind him, ready to strike with this 2 wide in front of him. Massey going to get tied out of 2. Contact there.
Big contact, and oh no, the 3 fastest cars in the race destroyed down the back straightaway.
And no caution.
They are all off of the racetrack. And
caution now.
Well, that is going to change the outcome of this race unless they are able to repair them, but
no, those cars are killed.
Alright, let's go back on replay here, and top 3 going for the lead, and let's just see here. Hard to tell. I think that's just a classic
Looks
racing.
Like Adams got loose and Massey got tight.
That's just, can't really call that anything else but just a classic racing deal. And then Hart's just being as close as he was to it, just really nowhere to go, and gets into the back of the 88, and then they just all sandwich on the back straightaway and all into the inside wall. And
so now Briar Pride in the lead and Chuck Sweeting in 2nd. If they pit here, they're still going to have to pit one more time, because I'd say they pit now and then pit on lap 100. And then kind of split it up a little bit.
So this will pretty much, I mean, of guys that have cars that don't have serious damage, it's going to leave Briar LaPrade, Chuck Sweeting, Matthew Bell, Robert Kenny, Terrian.
Rusty Capel.
Yeah, Terrian has some pretty significant left front damage to that machine. And Rusty Capel. But we'll get a better indication of that once they do exit the pits.
Alex Weaver, his car is completely fine. He just lost some track position there. So he might be able to get it a little bit of it back here.
Yep, and alright, well, as they exit the pits, let's show you firsthand here. Briar LaPrade. Chuck Sweeting, good looking cars. A little bit of crinkle to the right front of Matthew Bell. Robert Kenny, perfect condition. You can see that left front crinkled up a little bit on Shane Terrian. Thomas Bresci has some pretty decent sized aero damage there. Rusty Capel, prime car. Casey Shue, you can see a little bit of damage here, but he's gotten it repaired as best he can. Bronson Stafford, you can see this heavy damage. Alex Weaver, as you said, I've been looking pretty good. And then, I mean, can't say the same for Massey, can't say the same for Hartz. Neither Josh Adams. So of the fast guys in the race, to say it bluntly, I think we have Alex Weaver. I think he's capable of getting in there. And then Matthew Bell, Shane Terrian, if he can figure it back out. But Briar LaPrade sitting pretty right now. So we are going to step. Oh, sorry, Evan.
I was going to say, and Sweeting, him and LaPrade had a pretty good battle going there. So I say there's the top 3 could easily win this race. They all had really good speed.
All right, so we'll find that out in a brief moment. We'll step away again for a side-by-side under this caution and be back with you for the restart. So stay with us.
Red Bull GRC is now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
And welcome back to PTR TV here for the Hardline Racing League Ascent to 200 here at Charlotte. Come through 3 and 4 now after we just had probably the 3 fastest cars get taken out in a wreck. So now Brian Pratt and Chuck Sweeting on the front row coming through 3 and 4, getting ready for the pace car to pull off.
Yeah, we'll see here who's going to step up and take control of this race now that the 3 big ticket guys have some serious damage. We'll see what happens. Brian LaPrade in sole possession. He is in the lead. He has the control, and he goes early in the box, leaves Sweeting out to the dust. Green flag back in the air.
Matthew Bell and Sweeting side by side down into turn number 1 and 2. See here, Bell got the apron, I think, a little bit down there. That slowed him up, but he's still going to get the run out of 2, clear for that position. Here comes Terrian, our pole sitter, going back for 3rd after being caught up in, or being wrecked a little bit, or getting wrecking him.
Yeah, Terrian he's had a little bit of an eventful race, but given this situation, he's right back in the thick of things right now. Right behind Matthew Bell to the inside, but Chuck Sweeting to his outside. Bell is trying to block both sides of the highway, if you will. Sweeting very high in 1 and 2, loses a bunch of time, and here comes Terrian trying to get underneath the 95. Not going to happen.
Lost a little bit of time through 1 and 2 did Terrian, but we'll see here through 3 and 4 if he can gain it back. I wonder how much that damage is affecting him, because it doesn't seem to be too bad. It looks like he's quite a bit faster than both of these top 2, so he got a really good run out of 4.
Yeah, it might be hurting him a little bit, but maybe a mile an hour or 2 on the straightaway. But if he can get the run through the corner, it probably just works itself out naturally. See him losing a little bit of time here through corner number 2. These guys single file, but there is side by side Thomas Bressie and the 10 machine of Robert Kenny. Even with that heavy damage, that 24 is still able to run faster than the 10 machine at the moment, at the least.
With all this attrition, Bressie is now up to where he could get a pretty good finish. He's up to 6th already.
Yeah, there are 13 drivers, well, rather...
But sorry to cut you off, but we have a battle for the lead. Matthew Bell was just to the bottom of Brian LaPrade. LaPrade now clearing once again. But Bell is still trying to get by him.
Now 11 drivers on the lead lap right now after all this attrition, but here we go for the battle for the lead again. 95 to the inside, LaPrade to the outside, entering corner number 1 and 2. 95 will have he will be clear for the moment, but he doesn't slide up the track and shut the door, leaves it open. 19 gets the resurgence on the outside.
But they're still going to be side by side down into 3 and 4. Bell still on that bottom, hugging that white line. And we'll see here out of 4 who's going to get the run. Bell is going to clear him, but will LaPrade be able to fight back? He will not.
No, he will not, but that's not to say he's over and done with yet. Maybe he could figure something out and learn something in his line. Way up the track is the 95, maybe a little bit higher than he planned on there. Here comes the 19. Thought he was going to get a look to the inside, but didn't have the momentum.
See here through 3 and 4 if the 19 can get the run he needs. As now Casey Shue up to the 5th position. He has joined this battle trying to get by Chuck Sweeting.
Remember, he's been in 2 cautions tonight, but he's persevered, got the damage repaired, and look where he is running top 5, as you said.
Bell once again running that very top through 1 and 2, and now Shane Terrian trying to get around Brian LaPrade. Down the back straightaway, going down into turn 3 and 4 now. We'll see LaPrade once again right on that white line. And he gained some time on that 95.
Yes, he did, just by a little bit. We'll go on the battle tracker and see who got what last time by. And a 6:05 to a 6:16. So actually Bell stretched it out by 1/100th of a second. But I think Casey Shue was in the fence there off corner number 2. Lost some time and big wiggle down the straightaway.
Yeah, Shue got the ball a little bit out of 2. But Brian LaPrade is underneath Matthew Bell for the lead. Here crossing the start finish, Bell is still going to get scored as the leader at the stripe here through 1 and 2 now. See LaPrade's still on that bottom. Bell getting a little bit tight out of 2, it looks like. So they're going to be dead even out of 2 and down the back, and there's Terrian right behind him.
Shane Terrian is just waiting and kind of in a similar situation to where we were with Adams, Hartz, and Massey. top 3 in a battle, 1 mistake. Hopefully that does not happen. We saw how it worked out for the last caution, but 95 will fall back in line behind the 19 for the time being as we drive off full speed into 1 and 2.
Robert Kinney now getting by Casey Shue for the 5th position.
Shue, he had his damage, he had it repaired, he may have aggravated it with that last contact, so see where he does fall back to. Thomas Bressi in 7th just behind this, and then a ways back to the further damaged cars of Stafford and now Weaver.
Nick Massey just blew his engine, assuming it just overheated from that damage.
So that will be more attrition right now. Ryan Hartz, I'm pretty sure he is parking it. He's still in the pits. He may come back out, but he has been in the pits for quite some time. And then Simon Thorne's running 2 laps down in 13th after a couple things he's been involved in tonight. Joshua Adams 1 lap down in the 12th position, but he will get 11th back after Nick Massey most likely retires, and that'll put him in the free pass position, but we'll have to get a caution for that and wait to see if it happens. But 95 of Bell and 38 of Tarian side by side. That is for 2nd. Now this is a half a second behind LaPrade.
See here through 3 and 4. I'll take down the front stretch. Who's going to get it at this stripe? It's going to be Bell, it looks like, by just a few thousandths of a second here through 1 and 2 now. Tarian pinching him down a little bit. That's going to allow him to clear out of 2.
Yep, back to the top of the track is the 95, so the 95 will fall back in line in the 3rd spot. Shane Tarian, the points leader, works his way up just a little bit. 1 more spot to go, and that is a half a second ahead of him as Chuck Sweeting behind this. Robert Kenny, through all this attrition, has himself in the top 5, and he's going to be battling with Sweeting in a moment's time.
Looks like Casey Shue may have got the wall again out of 4. Yes, he did. That allowed Bressi to get by, so now Bressi's up to 6th.
Yep, just making the most of the situation that you're presented with. If you don't have the speed or you have some bad luck, and just persevere, and you can still salvage the night.
Now Robert Kennedy going to try and get by Chuck Sweeting. Sweeting was really high through 3 and 4. That allowed Kennedy to gain a lot of time there. Let's see here through 1 and 2 if Kennedy can once again gain, as yes he will, because Sweeting once again really high through that corner. That allowed Kennedy to almost pull side by side, but he's going to get back in line.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's intentional on Sweeting. I mean, I know the outside does work, but I think he may be just overshooting his marks just a little bit. So he's really slow up top running that line through 3 and 4. That'll allow the 10 to close right up to the back bumper, and now let's see if he can make anything with that. Doesn't appear to be so this time by.
Pratt now up to over a half-second lead over Shane Tarian. Fairly even lap times. Last time by, LaPrade was quite a bit quicker, but they've been kind of trading lap times. We'll see here what it is at the stripe this time.
Now, all the battling of the 38 had to do with the 95. I think Sweeting for a little while. It may have caused him to overheat his stuff up. Maybe he doesn't have what he had earlier on. That might give the 19 the edge. We are 20 laps into this run. We are, I think it was at 45 laps to go, so pit window should be opening, in all honesty, in about 5 to 10 laps. But the question is, when is that going to be when they decide to pit?
I think we'll start seeing some guys come down pit road right around lap 100, about 12 laps from now.
Yeah, give or take around 30 to go. I don't think that's a very bad idea at all.
Pratt 2/10 quicker than second last time by. So now his gap up to about an 8/10 of a second lead over Shane Tarian, who is trying to hold off Matthew Bell. Bell is quite a bit quicker right now than Tarian.
Yeah, last time by, a 10th faster was Bell. This coming time by, another 10th in the bucket for the number 95, but we all know how hard it is to pass on older tires. He's trying to make that inside work, but Tarian just has to play defense and pinch him down on the outside groove. Worked again that time by down the back straightaway. 38 still holding off for P2.
And now Bell going to the high side and into the wall. He went too high there.
Yeah, just doesn't have the grip to keep that thing down on the racetrack. Couldn't get it to cut, so he went forward. He sailed it off in there, but now he's going to drop back about a half second. Shouldn't be any damage to report on that. Just has to regroup and try to gain that time back.
Almost a second of a gap now for Pratt over Tarian.
Yep, so not really any battles on the racetrack now. Do have the 61 and the 9, two damaged vehicles. So two of the slower vehicles right now, 9th and 10th. They are relatively close on the track. This would be a battle for position. Well, we'll just give you a little field rundown now while we have the opportunity to. Brian LaPrade is your leader. He's led for 21 laps tonight. Shane Tarian led 6. He is in second. We have Matthew Bell, who's led 7 laps in third. Robert Kenny in 4th. Chuck Sweeting in 5th. Thomas Bressie in 6th. Casey Shue in 7th. Bronson Stafford in 8th. Rusty Capel in 9th. That is the lead lap drivers. Joshua Adams in 10th. Led 28 laps. He's 10 laps down after that impact that took him Massey.
He's 1 lap down.
Oh, he's 1 lap down. I don't know what I said, but I just said the incorrect fact. He's 1 lap down, and then Simon Thorns is 11th now. He is 2 laps down. And then we have Alex Weaver out of the race, Nick Massey out of the race, Brian Hart's out, and Cody Tabor out. That is the 15 driver field tonight.
Now over a 1.5 gap for LaPrade over Tarian.
Yep, so obviously he's been playing the tires the right way.
Oh,
on the
Bell
back
in the wall. He's going to keep it straight, but he's going to lose at least 1 spot to Robert Kinney.
See what happened. Go on board with the number 95 machine. He's off of corner number 2, and he grazed the wall, and when he grazed the wall, that got him a little bit loose when it bounced off, and just got him loose again down the straightaway and just corrected it into the fence.
Kenny and Sweeting both got by him, so Bell now back to the 5th position.
Now the battle for 3rd spot has artificially been enhanced by that impact. Here comes the 10 and the 26. They will be battling for what is now the 3rd position. Matthew Bell has collected himself in order to run in the 5th spot, but he will be behind this battle of Kenny and Sweeting.
Here comes Sweeting taking a look to the inside through 1 and 2. Now side by side there, Sweeting and washing up the track a little bit. That's going to allow the 10 to clear. No, not quite. Out of 2, the 26 is going to get that run from the bottom. And they're going to be dead even going down into 3.
Well, this 26 is going to sail it off in there, trying to do a little bit of a crossover. He kind of shuts the door on the 10. That causes the 10 to back off. So 26 will have that position. 10 had to really check up. That allows Bell to get by. So down 2 spots is Kenny.
Getting close to pit stops here, probably about 3 laps away from when they start. Do you want to be the first one to pit, Corey, or do you want to wait a little bit? What do you think?
At this point, I mean, I'm just going to say it rather bluntly. I mean, there's not much to fight for in terms of maybe going for the win at this point. I think there's too much of a gap between 1st and 2nd, too much of a speed difference, so I really don't think it matters much, to be honest. I mean, at least for the win anyways. If you're Matthew Bell, you're Chuck Sweeting, you're Robert Kenny, that 1 or 2 laps could be vital, and I'd rather be on the latter end of it if I had a choice. But up front, I just don't see anybody chasing down that number 19 machine, actually. Last time by, someone did by 3/10. LaPrade, I don't know if he had a bad lap or maybe he fell off a cliff, but he was 3/10 slower than Tarian last time by.
Got a little bit loose out of 4. That's all I really see. Or he got tight out 2, then loose out of 4. So that really hurt his lap time.
So we'll see what it is this coming time by, and if he is able to collect himself and get back on track.
And here comes pit road.
Well, that'll answer that question. Here he comes on pit road. Tarian will stay on the racetrack here. Lap number 100 going on the board here. Shane Tarian stays out, but we have LaPrade on pit road. We have Matthew Bell. We have Robert Kenny. So that leaves 3 lead lap drivers, well, 3 of the drivers up front still on the track. Tarian will see if he does pit this time by, or if he decides to stay out. I would imagine he'll be in shortly, just on reaction to that pit stop.
Tarian likes to do this. He likes to stay out, run a little bit longer, than have the fresher tires to chase him down at the end.
That always, I mean, we've seen it both ways, and we're on more of a trend of seeing it the opposite way of, do you want to be the chaser or the chasee? And lately, the chasee, I feel like, has been winning the most of these races, so I don't think he wants to stretch this out too long, but maybe 2 or 3 laps could work to his advantage.
He's staying out once again.
This is 2 laps out, and just remember, they've already dropped off about 2 seconds, so effectively, he's already lost 4 seconds when he does pit. He was down by 1.5 seconds, so you have to add that buffer in, so theoretically, he could be down by almost 6 seconds if he stays out, if he pits this time by.
We will see what he does here through 3 and 4.
Doesn't appear, based on his line, that he's going to pit.
Nope, staying out.
Well, this will be an even 30 laps to go, so let's see if maybe this is the lap that he would want to pit. Still waiting.
Bressie and Shu still yet to pit as well.
Yeah, so I know, Evan, I think you talked about maybe doing 30 laps to the end, so as I said, this would be 30 to go coming to the stripe this time by. If he wants to do it on an even number, let's see.
There he goes.
Yeah, that was the
he
money
likes
call.
Even numbers.
Thomas Bressie stays out, presumably to try to lead a lap.
Casey Shu also staying out.
And that is it. Josh Adams is the only driver I could show that is not pitted, but he is a lap down, so that is not of much significance for the win. So, see what happens here. When does Bressie pit? When does Shu pit? Those are the only 2 left. Looks like Bressie will... Oh, he was really slow. Thought he was going to come this time by. And Evan, we talk about all the time, cautions coming out and throwing these races off. I really can't see a caution tonight, so I think this is going to play out naturally.
Don't you say that every single race, though?
But I mean,
on those times you really don't. Now you really don't see one.
I mean, the only way a caution's going to come out is anything belligerent or just I can't see a self-spin as tight as these cars are, so. But, I mean, we've seen it all, so you can never count anything out entirely. So, Bressie does stay out for 1 more time around, and Shu to boot does stay on the racetrack as well. So, Brian LaPrade, he is exiting corner number 2 right now. He's midway down the back straightaway. You can see about a half a straightaway back is Chuck Sweeting. And then Shane Tarian is just now, let's try to get a reference point.
Tarian is out of 4 now.
LaPrade is entering turn 1.
And Tarian just presses the finish.
So
that's not bad, actually.
And on the stopwatch, that is 4/10 that Tarian was quicker. And you have to wait for the scoring loops to cycle through so we can give you an exact interval.
Bressie's still staying out as now Tarian is getting by him.
And he's really playing the caution card at this point, I believe. And it's a really risky call tonight, but I mean, he's going to walk out with a decent finish either way. I mean, just based on attrition and how many we have left. So I guess not really a bad call. So if it works out, he's a genius. If it doesn't, then I mean, it is what it is, right? So now that Tarian is back on the lead lap as he passes Sweeting, that was for position. We'll see what the exact gap is between LaPrade and Tarian. That is 4.4, now 4.3. And it'll be 24 to go.
There's a chance.
There is a chance. The lap time interval was 3/10 last time by.
And that was with Tarian passing the car.
So Here comes Bressie finally pitting, and we'll see what happens here with 24 to go.
Shu still staying out on the racetrack. You know, has one lap led. So will Shu come down pit road this time, or is he going to stay out once again? See here as he comes through 3 and 4. And Shu's going to stay out. So the gap now between LaPrade and Terrien, about 3.6 seconds, about 3.5 seconds now. So it's getting a lot closer, and with about 23-ish laps to go, 22 somewhere around there. We will see if he can close in on him. We'll see what it is now at the stripe. It looks like Brian LaPrade ran a 30.023, and Terrien with a 29.65. So about 4/10 quicker for Terrien. And he's about a half a straightaway behind him. Now 3.2 seconds. Chuck Sweeting starting to fall off a little bit here. He's about 5 seconds off the lead, or a little over 5 seconds. Now here comes Casey Shu to pit road. And now about a 3-second difference between LaPrade and Shane Terrien. And Terrien was a little over 3/10 quicker last time by. Matthew Bell, he's starting to close in a little bit on Chuck Sweeting. He's about a second and a half back. Fairly close to that time as the last time by.
Yep, so right now 20 laps to go in the race here, and lead is down to 2.6 seconds. Another 3/10 chopped off last time by Terrien, so the math is in favor of us having a battle for the win. But LaPrade is in a little bit of traffic here, trying to deal with the 88 machine. I don't know if that'll cost him a little bit of time, but can't afford to lose that time at this point.
Here comes Adams getting his lap back. Adams is on fresher tires, so he's better through the corners, but with that damage, he's slower on the straights. So that's making it really hard for LaPrade. But now Adams has cleared, so he should be able to pull away here, but that did slow LaPrade up just a little bit.
Yeah, I really don't think this is going to work out for LaPrade. He only has 2 seconds right now of buffer. And again, it seems to be about 3/10 of a second a lap, so we'll just maybe wait and see if that 38 equalizes out. It is a strong possibility. We know it does happen. Race summary here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've run 114 of the 133 on the board for the scheduled distance, 15 lead changes, and 4 cautions for only about 9 laps. I don't think that's actually right, but again, these cautions.
No, I say it is, because like these cautions have been really short tonight. They've only been about 2 laps.
Oh, yeah, and must be the case. Remember, we don't have you don't have a lot of lap down cars or any lap down cars. It does take that extra lap out of the caution, so there you go. But
Gap now down to under 2 seconds, as there's no longer a car in between the 38 and the number 19. There was the 9 of Rusty Cable between them, but Terrien was now able to get by him.
And it was about another 2/10 that time by on the stopwatch. See what it is this time by. We come through corners number 3 and 4 yet again. Looks like you get to see the live interval. You get to see it shrinking down to 1.7, a 42 to a 26. So there it is.
A little under 2/10.
So the gap is definitely ticking away, Evan, and we know he's gonna get there. As looks like that was a wiggle from the 19, but can he pass him by the time he gets there, and how his tires are going to be? Can he cleanly make the pass?
It's gonna be close. It kind of Depends on how much time he has left and how much that wore his tires out. Now it's under a second and a half. About 4/10 quicker last time by was Terrian. If he can keep up that 4/10 of a second quicker, Terrian will easily get by Brad. But I don't know if he'll be able to keep it up.
Because that 19, he did have a little bit of a wiggle, but he's going to have to play defense, and the best defense to play is to do exactly what he's doing right now. Run that middle, maybe run middle high. You don't want to quite run the top. You want to just run the middle, get him bogged down, get Terrian bogged down on the inside where he can't exit the corners, and then he will just have a constant struggle. He'll heat up the right front tire even more, trying to get that thing to turn, and it could work out for him, but where he's struggling as much as he is now, I don't think he'll be able to run consistent enough to maybe hold him off after all.
We will see, as Terrian was only a little over a 10th quicker last time by. We'll see here what it is. Pratt with a 30.524 and Terrian with a 30.389, so
about a 10th and a half, so
yeah, he'll get there.
He'll get there, but he's only going to set himself up for less than 5 laps to make that pass, which 5 laps sounds like a lot, but depending on how good, as I said, the 19 plays defense, that 5 laps may not be enough. No other battles on the racetrack. Closest other potential battle is Kenny and Bell. They are a half second separated for the 4th spot, so if that has anything happen, we'll keep you up to date, but everything else is pretty well spaced out at this point. We only have, I think it's 10 cars left on the racetrack at this point. But coming down the back straightaway, it's a 10 to go, 12 to go rather, coming to 11 to go. The gap now 3/4 of a second.
You'll see her out of turn 4. About 6.5 of a second gap right now. About 7/10 now. And we'll see lap time is 30.67. So for Pratt, and he had a little bit of a wiggle down there in turn 1, and then Terrian ran a 30.533, so another 10th and a half towards Terrian.
And at this point, he is there. I mean, at this point, both cars are not driving good at all, especially that number 19, where he has those extra 4 laps, which 4 laps does not sound like a lot, but it is just, it is amazing how much of a big deal 4 laps can be. And you can see here, last time by, only about a 10th, so that is the closest gap in lap times I think we've seen thus far.
Now down to about a half of a second gap as they come through 3 and 4.
See that 38 really able to cut down low on corner exit. I don't really think it really did anything for him that time by, at least on the stopwatch, but he at least has that. He at least has that ability. Kick some sparks up there, a little bit high in the quad oval there. He doesn't want to do that. That kind of got away with a break there.
See here, about 4.5 gap. And then Chuck Sweeting about 6 seconds off of LaPrade in the 3rd position, as LaPrade with a pretty big wiggle out of 4.
But actually only about half a 10th slower that time by, so maybe these tires are equalizing, and if they are doing that, he's doing that at the exact right time. He's doing it at the end of the race. He does have about a 4/10 of a second lead. He has 7.5 laps left to go around Charlotte to get himself a victory, does Briar LaPrade, trying to get his 2nd win of the season. LaPrade also a winner this season at the Dover International Speedway back in late May. So it's been only about 3 weeks time, so trying to get a repeat visit into victory lane. Shane Terrian has not won a race since going back to Phoenix International, ISM Raceway rather, in early May, so he wants to get back in victory lane, and he is there.
Yeah, Terrian gained a ton of time there through 3 and 4. Lost a little bit out of 4 and down the front stretch, but it's under 0.2 of a second.
Yep, so as we said, does he have it? He got there. He closed that 4.5 second lead down, but can he get by? Is there enough tire? Will the 19 make enough of his mistake? And here he goes, blocking down the back straight. It goes low, goes high. He opens the door up high. That is what he needs.
Terrian now to the outside of LaPrade for the lead. 3, 3, and 4. LaPrade sliding up the track now out of 4. Terrian going to get the run. LaPrade going to block once again. Now Terrian going to the bottom and down into turn 1.
That's going to be a hard pass, but he's going to sail it on down in there. He's going to nearly clear, not enough, but he's going to actually do it. LaPrade could not get on the throttle. 38 has the lead with 5 laps to go.
So now can LaPrade do a last? Yeah, that's no. You can see how much time Terrian gained through 3 and 4 just there.
LaPrade, he almost was able to save it there. He was at the right rear quarter panel, but he just appeared to be too tight. He couldn't get on the throttle, and that allowed the 38 to clear. He did everything he could. He was blocking. They were swerving down the back straightaway, and just ultimately, when it's not your race, it's not your race. And we saw that earlier with Nick Bassey, Ryan Hartz, and Joshua Adams. Fast guys, it's not always your race, and it wasn't Shane Terrian's race, but when you're having the kind of season he is, I mean, he's 3 laps away from sneaking one by.
Looks like he's going to get the spin and win here.
Yeah, he did not have a good start to the race, does not have a very clean car in terms of damage, but sometimes it's about just being lucky, sometimes it's about being good, and if you can pull off both, then you're going to have a good season. You're going to have the results that that 38 machine rather has been having, but LaPrade hasn't dropped off too much. He's only about a quarter of a second back. I don't expect him to have a second life here in the next 2 laps, but he is hanging with him.
Terrian may have just backed the pace down a little bit, or LaPrade may have just found some speed there. It was about 2 thousandths of a second quicker before Terrian last time by, so not much at all. I think LaPrade's going to run out of time.
Yeah, if he finds anything, he's going to need to light a fire under it, even more so than he already has, because coming off of corner number 4 here, and we are about to take the white flag lap at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 1.5 miles left to go, and the gap is under 0.2 of a second. LaPrade is doing the best he can, but it's just not going to be enough unless the 38 makes a mistake that I just don't see happening. Shane Terrian has lucked out tonight, kind of did the spin and win, being involved in a little bit of an incident earlier, but he is going to come through 3 and 4 here as LaPrade sent it off in there in a 3 and 4 to no regard. They're going to come through 3 and 4 for the final time tonight, and your points leader for the 5th time this season, Shane Terrian, wins at Charlotte.
LaPrade coming home 2nd, and Chuck Sweeting just now coming home 3rd.
Yep, LaPrade, he tried, he gave it everything he had there, but unfortunately for him, just not enough left in that tank to be able to do it, especially after what had happened to him getting chased down there at the end. So let's go back and go give you your final rundown here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tonight, we have in victory lane that we will talk to in a matter of moments. That is Shane Terrian, as he won, leading 15 laps tonight. Brian LaPrade led 45. He will come home in 2nd. Chuck Sweeting in 3rd. Robert Kenny in 4th. Then we have Thomas Bressie in 5th. Matthew Bell in 6th. Casey Shue, Rusty Caples, Joshua Adams, and Simon Thorns round out the top 10.
Bronson Stafford coming home in 11th, Alex Weaver in 12th, Nick Massey in 13th, Ryan Hartz in 14th, and Cody Tabor in 15th.
All right, so that is the final rundown here from Charlotte, and we do have already Chuck Sweeting and Shane Terrian, and Brian LaPrade I'm sure will be in a matter of moments. So let's start the interview process here tonight, and I think Evan has caught up with Chuck Sweeting.
So, Chuck, you come with the 3rd place finish here tonight at Charlotte. What are your thoughts after tonight's race?
Had a pretty good race. I didn't really have anything for top 4 or 5 guys, but at least not in the short run. I don't know, they're killing me on the short run. I was probably as fast as anybody on the long run, but I don't know, I got to figure out how they're so fast early with these tight setups. But I'm happy with it. Another good finish, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, you started in 12th, got it up to 3rd, and looked like there was a little bit of attrition in that race. There was quite a few wrecks there. Is that kind of what you thought as well?
Yeah, they sorry. Yeah, they were being pretty aggressive to be so early in the race. I don't really understand that mentality, but you know, there are drivers that just drive as hard as you can every lap, and they're usually better than me, so I just try to be smarter than them.
All right, well, is there anyone you would like to thank or shout out to after your third place finish here?
Yeah, thanks to Cody for the league and doing all the admin stuff, and then my team, Randall Fox Racing, I Take Computer and Tech Services, and Liberty, Ben on Chrome, Chevy Performance, everybody that contributes to the team.
All right, well, thanks for talking with us, and congrats on your third place finish.
Thank you.
And now Corey has caught up with second place finisher Briar LaPrade.
All right, Briar, you almost hung down there. You almost was able to do it, but at the end, carrying in those newer tires just snuck by you at the end. But you almost, you held with him there at the end after he passed you. You sent it there to 3 and 4. What was your thought process on that entire last run?
Well, I had the broadcast on in the background, so I heard the little strategy. Just pit lap 100, split it, 33 laps each or something. And I sent it with the PTR TV broadcast boost strategy, and it was just a little too early there. I wish I could have came up with the win there, but Shane had some experience with that, he said. I was just talking to him, but yeah, like I said, too early. I wish I could have done something there to try and win.
Yeah, sometimes it's just whatever call you make never ends up being the right one, or guys like you said, he just got you there, pitting a couple laps later, having that little bit of extra fresher tires. But what was the whole race like overall, man? We saw the top 3 fastest guys tonight. They got taken out in a wreck, and then it seemed to be an attrition game. But we look at you with that number 19, and I don't really see a scratch on that machine.
Yeah, I kept it clean all night. Surprising. Early on, I've seen a few people hit each other, and then once I seen those top 3 wreck, I mean, I felt like I wasn't fast enough to keep up with them. But once I seen those top 3 wreck, I was like, all right, well, you know, got a good chance, and ended up finishing second.
Yep, second is it's obviously not a win, but still it's a good finish in championship hope. So who do you want to give your shout outs to tonight, man?
I'd like to give a shout out to everyone here watching, girlfriend, a few friends. Shout out to them.
All right, 10-4, brother. So congrats on the second place finish, and you guys won't be racing for a couple weeks, so I'll have you be practicing up, and you'll be in Mossport in a couple weeks, so good luck there.
Yep, thank you guys. Thanks for the broadcast.
And now Evan Black has caught up with your winner tonight, Shane Tarian.
So Shane, you started from the pole, you spun out on lap 17, and you came with a win. What are your thoughts after this race?
I didn't think I was even gonna win after that embarrassing spin I had. The car just didn't want to turn entering turn 3. It was like I blew a tire. I don't know, but that and I don't know. I earned it at the end there, but I definitely was not the fastest car. My 2 teammates were, along with the 3. I don't know what they did. I don't know, but man, that was fun. That was really fun.
Yeah, when you came down pit road about 3 or 4 laps after LaPrade did you think you were going to be able to catch up to him, or did you think that was a mistake after you did it?
Yeah, I was going to pit with him until I noticed I was catching him significantly right before he started pitting, and I was like, well, maybe if I stay out, because I did it in another league where I stayed out at least 5 laps, and I was able to reel them back in. So not only did I have that, but I had a stellar pit stop. I got into pit road really well, so that helped me. I didn't get passed by anybody. I stayed in 3rd. So it's when I realized how close I was coming out of pits, I figured I was able to get him. Passing him, I didn't know, but he kept it clean, kept it hard. It was I gotta give a shout out to him for that. That was really fun.
Yeah, that at least from up here from up here, it looked like it was kind of a carnage-filled race. Did you kind of expect that coming in? It looks like there was a lot of attrition.
Yeah, I expected some wrecks, but it's really tight. I'm sure you guys know how Charlotte can be very weather temperamental, and coming here on dynamic weather, it's gonna be hit or miss. So it was definitely carnage if it was pushed to the limit there.
All right, well, is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to here?
Yeah, shout out to you guys, Cody for the league, my sponsor, Deal Controller, iBoG, Nationwide. I'm gonna shout out to Briar for definitely keeping it clean, definitely not killing me in turn 4, doing like a Carl Edwards or something. So definitely shout out for that.
All right, well, thanks for talking with us, and once again, congrats on your win here at Charlotte.
Thank you.
All right, so that is the top 3 interviews here tonight. We already gave you the final rundown, so it's going to quickly wrap up coverage here tonight with the final shout-outs. I want to give a quick shout-out to Air Movement Fabrications, a longtime sponsor with the channel, for all that they do. Krutz Custom Graphics for all the help with our logos and behind-the-scenes stuff visually. I want to thank Brandon for all that he does. iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. I can never get that one out. iBog.co. Jason Allison for helping us code these overlays. Track Cams 4 Gourmets for all the sick camera views here tonight. If you like them, you can check him out at the website there, trackcams22.com. So that's another broadcast here on PTR TV, the Hardline Racing League, the Midwest POWERSOURCE Cup Series. Check out the Integrity Racing League. Actually, they won't be racing this coming week because they have a week off, but you can check out ASRS, the American Sim Racing Series, on LSR TV for PTR TV on LSR TV. Hardline Racing League will be taking a couple weeks off for some admin duties that have to be taken care of, so they will be taking the track on July 6th. That'll actually be covered on SYM TV, a new broadcaster for them, as I will actually be on vacation, not able to take care of that race. So their race at Canadian Tire will be on SYM TV. I'm sure on Hardline social media you'll be able to find that race if you are hopefully wanting to watch it. So again, signing out of the booth is Corey Silva and Evan Black. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good night, and we'll see you on Tuesday.